We're Gen X and we're just built different. So here's a really good side hustle that fits into us and the way we feel about the world and our experiences in our life. And it is the idea of being a curator. So now, what makes Gen X different is we've seen it all, we've been through it all, and we kind of approach this world, we're like the MTV generation, and we see through the BS, right? If we see something that doesn't kind of look right and feel right, we're not afraid to call it out. There was a meme that went around that's become really popular with Gen X. It's like, they're the F around and find out generation. And as a curator, what you do is you basically find an industry. So whatever that industry is. So maybe you've had experience as an accountant and you want to help other people save on their taxes, and you've been an accountant for 30 years and you've seen it all. So you, as a curator and someone who gives your opinion and expertise, can find other materials out there. You don't have to necessarily recreate the wheel. You don't have to say, here's the coolest tax-saving thing I invented. But you could find all of the other advice, especially, now here's kind of a nice little twist on it, and I think fits perfectly into Gen X, is especially finding some of the younger people giving advice, and then you explaining what's good or bad about it. It's not a question of you sitting there looking like a cranky old person in sour grapes, but you're finding all these resources and breaking it down and just being real. So let's say someone puts out a video, there's 1 million views on it about this, how to avoid taxes by living, in the Bahamas, whatever. You can go through it and say, here's what this is about. Here's why they came up with this idea. Here's why it would work, or here's why it wouldn't work. And here's a better way to do it. Now, as a curator, you're like, well, what's the monetization scheme? How do you make money with this, right? And there's one, which is what everyone talks about. They're like, oh, you make money through quote unquote ads. So you hope that you get a lot of views on YouTube, or you go, quote, viral, and all of a sudden the ad money's gonna be rolling in. The reality is that's not really a very good long-term business strategy, because you can't depend on it. When you put all of your eggs in another basket, in a third-party platform, it's a little bit dangerous, because if that goes away, your whole business collapses. So what I always recommend, no matter what you do, is whatever information you're putting out there. So if you're the curator and you're finding all this content about tax strategies, right? You're approaching it from a Gen X perspective. Then you say, if you want more, if you want the newsletter, if you want more resources, join my newsletter below. Which, by the way, I do that in these videos now too. So I have a report about creating 1K per day as 50 and older, and I say, drop 1K below, and I'll send it to you. And by the way, if you want it, write 1K below. You see what I just did? So you're doing that. And now when you have a list of people interested in these strategies, the back end is where you make money. You can't, because now you're becoming a trusted voice. And that, again, is why Gen X and 50 and 60 and over is, because we have these years of wisdom and experience versus, a 24-year-old giving some weird viral TikTok tax advice. You're saying, here's all the clients I work with, here's the stuff I've done. So now you're trusted and you're breaking down things. And from there, the way to monetize is virtually unlimited. Sometimes you can box up all your information and your knowledge and create a course or a program, and it could be $100, it could be $500, it could be $1,000, it could be $5,000, right? If it's for a small business owner, it could be a couple hundred. If it's for a Fortune 500 company, it could be $5,000 or $10,000. So you could productize, you can offer coaching and consulting. And especially as we're getting a little bit older, it's a really good business. If you enjoy helping people and talking on the phone, you could charge a couple of $100 an hour just for helping people. And you could do workshops in person or online workshops. I just wrapped up a workshop yesterday. I had hundreds of people on who paid $300 for a live workshop I did from my house. And they attended from all over the world just through online streaming. I use StreamYard, link below for a free 30-day. And by the way, that's another way to monetize, through affiliate programs. So if there's a really good tax software you recommend, sticking with this theme of tax advice, and there's tax software you recommend and they have an affiliate program, especially one that pays recurring commission, That's really good. That's good income. So by me recommending StreamYard, when you sign up for a free account and then become a paid member, I'm going to get recurring commission for as long as you stay. And that is completely passive. And yes, there are sponsorship opportunities. If you have a list of 38,000 people interested in saving money with taxes, there are going to be other companies that are interested in reaching those people. So once you have this list, this audience, there's so many ways you could turn it into income. But as a Gen X, the idea of curating, of not necessarily saying I have to be the expert and I have to come up with all this information, but finding all the stuff people are talking about and finding the information out there and either saying, this is what I like about it, maybe I'd improve upon this, or this is good, but here's what I would change. I mean, there are people who make livings curating other people's information. Tim Ferriss, who I've known forever, his tribe of mentors, it's all about kind of curating wisdom from other people. Ryan Holiday, the Stoicism, he's curating and giving his own analysis of people who lived, hundreds of thousands of years ago. And you can do the same thing in your niche and in your passion and in your market. But the key, like what Tim Ferriss has done, and what Ryan Holiday has done, is then getting them onto your list. And then you could monetize on the back end. And for Gen X, we don't suffer fools lightly. We tell it like it is. And I think people are really looking for just true, honest voices with no BS, with no crap, with no annoying YouTube stupid faces and being an annoying influencer. Just being real, just like this. One video, one take, no edits, just helping people and doing cool things. So think about it. Side hustle, Gen X, curation. If you want the special report that I'm working on here, just write 1K below. And again, if you're enjoying this, if you could just do me a favor, just hit the like button right now and then subscribe. And then YouTube will see, this guy Ryan, I think people are going to like him. I think other Gen X are going to get into it. So, ladies and gentlemen, I will see you on the next video. Gen X, baby, we got this.